If you know me, you know that I'm probably working from a coffee shop. And so for that reason, I wanted to get on here and give you like 3 solid red flags to look for when you're trying to find a good coffee shop in your area. So this applies to coffee shops, not home coffee, and I will clarify that again in the future. But the first red flag you want to look for in a coffee shop when you walk in, or before you walk in even, what syrups are they using? Because most shops are charging around $7 to $9 for a latte with oat milk these days. And if they're using syrups that you could pick up on Amazon, TJ Maxx, a Torani, an 1834 syrup, anything like that, there's no shame in using those syrups at home. But when I'm paying $8 or $9 for a latte, those syrups need to be handcrafted. They're easy to make. I can make my own syrups at home if I want. So yeah, I know you can make your own syrups at the store where you're charging me $9 for your hard-earned pump of an Amazon ordered syrup. So please, 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 if you go into a coffee shop and you look at their syrups, you can even ask them, are your syrups house made? If they say no, our syrups are not house made, I would say maybe you just get an Americano, a drip coffee, an iced coffee, maybe no flavors today. Because it's going to save your pocketbook a few extra dollars because they love to upcharge for a syrup. And also, it's going to save you the painstaking reality of knowing that you could have made that coffee at home. Another thing about coffee shops that use store-bought syrups, it's not that hard to unscrew the top, pour it into a unlabeled canister, and then serve it. Like, it would be easy for them to do that, but they're choosing not to because they think you don't know that you could go to TJ Maxx and buy the same pumpkin spice syrup that they're using for their pumpkin spice lattes. Or that you could go to Starbucks and buy the Starbucks syrup. Did you know that? Did you know that if you like Starbucks so much, you can go in and you can say, hey, can I buy some of your syrup? There's some syrups they don't sell, like their pumpkin spice sauce, but you can go in and you can get like a cinnamon dolce syrup. If you just say, hey, can I pick up a cinnamon dolce syrup? And that'll save you probably $4 a day if you're able to make an espresso shot at home. Another red flag that you should watch out for when you go into these coffee shops is automatic espresso machines. How long does it take for them to pull a shot out of their espresso machine? How long? And I know that normal people probably won't notice this, right? Like people that are not coffee connoisseurs will not notice this. But if you're watching and the person in front of you orders a latte and it comes out really freaking fast, probably a flag that they are not using a regular espresso machine or like an artisanal espresso machine. Sure, there's like high volume automatic espresso machines that are going to pull a shot almost as good as a barista doing it, but the reality is if you don't see a barista moving, you don't hear the sounds of them tamping or emptying out the espresso puck, it's probably an automatic coffee maker that you're using, which at that point is just the same as you using an espresso at the house. There's some rare exceptions, but I've yet to see an automatic espresso machine craft me a $9 latte that should have been $9. Because at that junction, they're taking all the artisan work out of it, and the barista that's in charge of using the automatic espresso machine is just pushing buttons. So if you're gonna go back there and push buttons, if pushing buttons is your job, that's great. But do not turn that iPad around for a tip, mama. And there's a few shops in Charlotte that specifically I've witnessed do this, and I've witnessed them turn the iPad around with my $9 total on it and ask if I wanted to tip. It took you 30 seconds for you to make me a little iced Americano. I don't think I'm going to tip on this one, Chief. But maybe next time, if you guys want to tamp and pull the shots yourself, I'd be happy to leave you a tip for your artisan craftsmanship. I think that coffee is a beautiful thing. And I also need coffee shops and coffee shop owners to realize that the intrinsic value in a coffee shop is not that the coffee is Instagrammable. Just because a coffee beverage is served to me in a pleasing and aesthetic way does not the coffee quality make. It should be both good to drink and also handcrafted and also aesthetically pleasing for you to be able to earn my $9 business. It's all well and good for you to charge $9 for a drink, but it is not all well and good for you to charge me a drink made by a robot and made with store-bought syrups. That's unfortunately where I will have to draw the line. And the final red flag I'm going to share with you guys today is kind of almost a sweeping across the board issue. I wouldn't say that it's a disqualifier for me in purchasing a beautiful artisan beverage, but it's something that gives me pause. And that's if you go to a shop that has a seasonal menu. So think fall beverages, pumpkin spice latte, maple spice latte, or even like we get into Christmas beverages, peppermint mochas, right? The price on the specialty beverages is typically a little bit higher than the price you'll see on their regular lattes with flavor. So when I order something off the specialty menu, it should include whatever milk I want it to include. Because if I'm ordering off the specialty menu, and the specialty menu is charging me $8, $9 for a latte, then I'm anticipating that $9 is inclusive of your $1 oat milk charge, which also shouldn't be a thing, but I won't go there. I understand pricing is unique. So when I tell you that I want the pumpkin spice latte made with oat milk, that $8 should just include the oat milk cost. I don't want it to go to $9 because you guys said, oh, well, it just cost us $8 to make, just cost $8 for a pumpkin spice latte. But if you have a milk allergy and you don't want milk, you want oat milk instead, then no, you have to pay the extra dollar. I hear you. And I hear you and I see you, but consider that this ain't the 1930s. If Starbucks is handing out free non-dairy milk, you guys should get with the times and at least start including the cost of non-dairy milks into a latte. If a latte is normally fixed at $5 or $6, let's fix the price at a $5.50 or a $6.50 and not charge every single person that asks for milk an additional dollar. Consider that, especially on specialty drinks. Because most times, specialty drinks are higher. And I don't mind, like I've said throughout this video, I do not mind paying extra for a specialty beverage, for a handcrafted artisanal beverage. I will happily fork over my money every day of the week, multiple times a day, for a specialty beverage that's like crafted with kindness and love and sweetness from local baristas. But it's when coffee shops take advantage of the upcharge that they have to charge, when they take advantage of consumers who don't know the difference between a store-bought syrup and a house-made syrup. Those things matter at this point to me because coffee isn't just $5 anymore. Coffee's $9. Coffee's $8. Coffee's $6. Like, those are things that add up. And at the end of the day, it's the difference between me going and spending my little treat money at your shop versus another shop down the door. I don't mind spending a lot of money on a little beverage, but the little beverage should be handcrafted and well made and made in-house. There's obviously exceptions. Like, for example, one of my favorite shops in Charlotte orders a cacao powder to make their mocha. So their mocha's made in-house, but it's also not completely made in-house. Yes, we order ingredients. We source ingredients. We don't have to order the pre-made Ghirardelli chocolate sauce. That's an option. Thank you so much for listening to this Unserious rant. If you want more content like this, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter where I send out Unserious rants every single Sunday. Links in the bio for that, and I'll see you in the next one.